What's up you guys, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to week 4 of building the Imperial base. So overall I've got a ton done this week, including a speeder bike bay for the speeder bikes, as well as working on the back wall and sorting out some of the lighting problems that I had last week. Those are just a few sneak peeks, but make sure to stay all the way through till the end of the video to see everything I get done this week. If for some crazy reason you are not subscribed to the channel already, make sure to go down and smash that subscribe button and leave a like whilst you're down there, but let's get straight into the video. Okay guys, so I've kind of taken this whole thing apart and come up with a solution for the lights. So before I was using these small bit lights and I was going through headlight bricks through a little stud and then into sort of going down so it would change the color, but I've sort of changed it up a little bit here and I'm now going through like a big trans clear piece here. So I basically have one of these strip lights shining through a big bit of trans red brick, so this is flush with the actual platform now, so it's quite good, and I think it's coming out a little bit better than it was before. Obviously I'm still not very bright, but I think it'll be better once I have 2 or 3 of them in here, and that will definitely help light it up a bit better. But I think this is definitely a better sort of solution to the problem than I had before. So obviously the problem with this right here is you can see the end is quite open and there's definitely not a nice finish to it. So I made this little piece right here using some different plates and tiles and fitted it on here. I'm going to add these inverted tiles up here, so it just sort of adds a nice smoother effect to the end of this. So here's a quick shot of the lights being turned on and off in this little hallway right here. It's definitely an improvement, but it's still not as bright as I would have liked. But I'm definitely going to carry on tweaking this and sort of working with this until I get it fixixed. So after all of that, it just was not working. So I ended up actually switching the lights over and putting them under here because I think this looks a lot better over here. I'm going to find out something else to do over here. It just wasn't working. It just wasn't going to be bright enough. So I decided to add these underneath here, which I think looks really good. I had to go back in and rip up that entire wall, but I think it looks good, and I think it'll definitely add something under there because it was kind of dark and dimpsy over there. Okay, so I think I might have come up with a solution. I still have the lights up here, but they're just in a different configuration up there. And we have now got the lights coming through here. It's not too bright still, but it's better than nothing, and we still have the lights over there as well. So we've got this, and then I sort of managed to extend the platform out. I've added sort of like a railing and some different details here just to make it a bit less obvious. I managed to fill in any of the gaps because obviously there were like thin gaps here, but I managed to cover that up, and as well as along this edge here. So I use these inverted slopes like this with a tile in between them to go along the edge here, and I think this has really come out well. I've got it all completely on the same level now. I'm still not sure what I'm going to put up here or anything. Obviously I have to have an area to store the lights and stuff, but I might even be able to just put something above it, maybe a room or something like that, but you'll have to tune in later in this episode or in the future episodes to find out what I do here. Okay, so a bit of time later now, and I've finally sort of started tidying this all up a bit. I now have this bit which I can just access from the back, and I can now turn on all the lights. So with one flick of a switch I can do the lights under here, I can do the lights in there, as well as the lights up there above in the ceiling as well. So this is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that, and I've also got it so I can have pretty much a layer there and it will be ready to go, and I could probably put something on top of that. But with that, I was really done working on the lights, and I switched my attention to the speeder bike bays, and this is going to be an area where all the speeder bikes are going to be parked. I'm probably going to have 1 to 2 speeder bikes in this area. I'm probably going to do a custom model or maybe use someone else's design or something like that, but I'm really happy with the way this came out. This took me hours and hours to do. Shout out to everyone who came to the live stream. This was one of my best live streams I've had in a while, and it was really lots of fun. I basically used this snot technique here, and I fiddled around with this for ages trying to fit it in this hole in the floor, and I managed to get it done, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out for sure. I switched my attention then up to the back wall. This is just a ton of different iterations I go through here, so I work on loads of different patterns and stuff and see what I like. I go through a load of different iterations of the wall, and I definitely think what I came out with at the end is really awesome. But sit back, relax, and enjoy this little time lapse as I just work on a few things, try a few things out, and see how we get along. So you can see at this point I tried to start working on these classic sort of Imperial walls that you see on Star Destroyers and stuff in the films. It's a very commonly used thing in different mocks, but I'm really happy with the way this turned out. I tried to get it working in the middle, but it just wouldn't work to be a whole full thing across the entire gap because of the amount of stud gap that there was. So I ended up switching it over and having a double sort of thing either side and having a bit of dark bluish grey in the middle holding it all together. Sadly I didn't have the pieces in light bluish grey. Would have been good in light bluish grey, but I think the dark bluish grey came out pretty well in the end. And then I started to work on the other side as well as other parts on top of the wall and stuff like that, and more details in the wall with some piping and that sort of thing. So sit back and enjoy the rest of the time lapse. So there we go, that is my finished back wall. Obviously it will probably extend a bit higher on the wall there, but I'm really happy with the way this came out. I love the way the pipes go along the top layer as well as using the sort of setback technique with the wall, the Imperial sort of wall that I like to call it, set back into the wall slightly using jumper plates and stuff. I think this adds a little bit more detail, makes it look a little bit better than just having it sort of flush with the wall. But I'm really happy with the way this turned out, and make sure you let me know what you think of this in the comment section down below. So a bit more time has passed now, and I've done a ton of work above this area right here. Really happy with this. I've done sort of a few different greebling techniques, adding as much detail as I can to this. Obviously panning across here, you can see I've done quite a bit of work. You have this sort of small vent in the middle with loads of different sort of pipings and that sort of thing running up the side. I even added this window, which is actually going to be, I think, a room in there when I get around to making that, and this will be sort of like a window that can look out slightly onto the actual base. But I'm really happy with the way this turned out. As I said, I think there's definitely some cool greebling techniques. I'm not entirely happy with everything. I think I might be switching up a few things here and there, but overall I think this is definitely coming out quite nicely. So that's about it for the actual progress I have done on the mock. I've got a few more questions to ask you guys, but I think it's really coming along nicely. I definitely want to hear your feedback on what I've shown you so far in the video. Really happy with the speeder bike bay. I think this definitely came out nicer than I could have expected. It took a lot of work. I had to rip up the entire floor area. If you guys came to the stream, I think it was about a 3-hour stream, and that's pretty much all I worked on. So it was really loads of fun though, and make sure you come along to any more streams that I do in the future. But yeah, I've got a few designs to show you now for speeders and that sort of thing, and I'll definitely be asking for your opinion on this in the comment section down below. So a guy named British Wolf Productions actually reached out to me and designed a few speeders for me and for the mock, and I'm really excited to show you these guys. I'll definitely leave a link down below to him if you guys want to check him out. But yeah, so we have these 3 different speeder designs. You have this sort of typical one you see on Endor in episode 6, as well as this other one which looks more like a Rebels sort of speeder, sort of a thing you see in Star Wars Rebels. Then finally you have the patrol speeder, which is probably my favorite. I really want to use some patrol troopers in this mock, and I think I'm going to station this maybe outside the base, maybe on the outside of the landing pad. But let me know what you think of these designs and whether I should use any of these inside my mock, and where I should use them, that sort of thing, and what figures I should use with them, or if you see any other speeder designs that you've seen on the internet that you definitely think I should build for the mock, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your feedback on these awesome speeders. But thanks again to British Waffle Productions, really awesome designs right there. But that just about brings episode 4 of building the Imperial base to a close. I'm really excited to finish up on this mock. I'm really enjoying the build so far, and I definitely would love to hear your feedback. What do you think of this mock so far, and whether you're enjoying it and whether you're excited for what I'm going to be doing next in the very near future. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Really do appreciate all the support you've been giving me recently. We're getting so close to 6k. We might have even hit it by the time you're watching this video. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.